Hey folks, welcome to another Get to Know Your Artist episode of the WOAFM99 Radio Show and podcast. So this is the companion episode. We have the main WOAFM99 Radio Show and podcast releasing tonight at 9 p.m. PST, so that's Los Angeles time. That would be Friday early morning in the UK, okay? But this is releasing now as a preview to what's coming up and also some updates on the WOA world, and all the artists that we support. So before I kick off and tell you who's going to be featured on today's show or on tonight's show on WFM99, this is my take on the artists that have made it into the Certified Indie Songs of the Week. Plus, today is a very special episode because it's an in-conversation episode, which means I've got an artist joining me in the studio, and it's none other than Kitt Chapman. Now, if you missed our in-conversation highlights, the video edition of that interview, it's live already. It went live yesterday, so if you missed it, you can check it out right here on my channel. And by the way, please subscribe to my channel, please like this video, and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on all these wonderful things we do. And speaking of the wonderful things we're doing, tomorrow, after all the WFM99 stuff is over, tomorrow evening at 6 p.m., I have my Oliver Sean Sessions live set right here on my channel, so please do join me there. And if you like my music, you can join me there. We do a bit of covers, we do a few originals, unplugged, live, give you the live experience, just me and my guitar, and some new stomp boxes that I got, including some pedals and all of that stuff. So don't forget to join me, okay? That's coming up tomorrow. But anyway, without further ado, let me tell you about the artists that have made it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm switching it up a little bit. So I will talk about the WOA acts that have made the Certified Indie Songs of the Week. And also these are usually, when we do put in the WOA artists on our show, it's usually because either it's an exclusive song that no one else has and you guys get to hear it for the first time, or it's an artist has just hit the charts, or they're releasing a brand new single like the next day or something, and that's happening. I'll tell you all about it. And then I'll give you a list of the new artists that we have discovered who have made it into the Certified Indie Songs of the Week for tonight's show. Except that I won't talk much about them. I'll just give you a list of the artists because I've realized that, of course, we get a lot of artists who are very active and they're very supportive of their fans, and they'll be commenting and sharing, and then they become part of the family, But there are a lot of artists who don't interact, and those are the artists that we don't want to support, really. So what we'll do is we'll play their song because we like the music, obviously. But as an independent artist, at least in our universe of the W universe, it's all about artists supporting each other. That's the sort of concept we've got here. So if you're an artist who is just putting music out and you don't really give a damn and you don't want to interact with other acts and your fans, and you think you're a mainstream act, then this is not the show for you. But what we do is we give you one chance. We'll play your song on the show, and then if you don't see any interaction, that artist is out. They'll never be back on the show. But if you do interact and you're excited about being on our show, and you're excited about meeting or getting to know new fans, and your music getting to new fans, then you become a part of our family, and there's a lot that can come out of that. Okay. Also, before I talk about the artists that have made it, I want to give a shout out to the Independent Blues Project 2 artists. Okay, artists who have made it into the Independent Blues Project Part 2, and I'm going to be talking about that tonight on the show, on the WFM99 show. I'll be talking about it and telling you all about the acts, because next week there's going to be a special about the Independent Blues Project Part 2, and I'm very, very excited. I've produced 6 songs on that album. It's a 10-song album, 6 songs produced by me, including one of my own songs with the Real Indie Project. So it's fantastic stuff. I've done guitars on like 6 songs or something, so it's really cool. So I'm very excited about that album. Okay. So anyway, here we go. These are the artists that have made it on tonight's Certified Indie Songs of the Week, WFM99 Radio Show and Podcast, Episode 2 of Season 31, which comes up tonight. So some of the WOA artists that we're featuring tonight are Yngvi Thor Kormaksson from Iceland. Now, one of the reasons I'm playing Yngvi Thor today is he's one of my favorite chill out artists, okay, and blues artists, and he's part of my Independent Blues Project Part 2. I won't talk about that today, but I'm going to be talking about one of his songs called Loki, which actually made it into the Grammy ballots last year. and it's a fantastic song. But we've selected his music video to be part of the WOA TV show, which releases this Sunday. So there's a lot happening this week, okay? So this Sunday, Yngwie Thor's music video is going to be Yngwie Thor Cormackson's music video is going to be playing on the WOA TV show. But I'm going to be playing that song tonight. We just remind you of the beautiful music that he makes in that side of his. He's got like various types of music he makes, you know, chill out jazz, blues, and then Latin, you know, all that kind of. He's very, very talented producer. So anyway, Yngwie Thor Cormacksson coming up today. Then we've got the Key Rocks. Now I'm doing a massive support for Key Rocks. He's one of my favorite singer-songwriters from Ireland. We've worked together years ago, and you know, we keep supporting Kevin Murphy. That's the guy from the Key Rocks. He's got a brand new song called Sweet Divine, and I did play it last week, and we're going to play it again today. Because the song has just been picked up by major commercial radio stations around the world, including the UK and Ireland, and so I'm very excited for him. We're trying to support him as much as we can. Okay, so Sweet Divine, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. And next we've got Perusia, another WOA artist from close to Seattle, that area, and Perusia is going to be part of the Independent Blues Project. I can't wait for you guys to hear their music. Unfortunately, I can't play the songs that have been selected for the Independent Blues Project because each song is a brand new single, okay? And it's going to be launched with the Independent Blues Project. I'm very, very excited. I'm going to be playing one of their songs that actually got me interested in Perusia and made me fall in love with the band, okay? So we're going to be playing one of those songs, and they're very heavy rock band, okay? They play a lot of hard rock, not metal, but very, you know, Seattle-based kind of rock, okay? But the song that I first heard from Perusia was this one that I'm going to be playing today. I won't tell you the name. You've got to tune in to find out what it was. And it's more of their softer stuff. And that's what they've done now for the Independent Blues Project. So very excited for you guys to hear their music and their power to sort of change the music if they need to, you know. So it's cool stuff. So Perusia today on the show. And then we've got an artist called Tony Marino. I played Tony before. He's also got another project called Egmont Road with Chris Marino, his wife, and they make country music there. But Tony Marino is a hardcore jazz artist, and I'm going to be playing one of his brand new songs today, so stick around for that. It's going to be a great track. I'm a big jazz fan, if you didn't know. Actually, to be fair, I'm a fan of all different genres, but when I say I'm a big fan of a certain genre, it's because I listen to it in the car all the time, okay? So jazz, country, and blues, obviously. So I listen to a lot of that all the time. So jazz is something I've grown up with, you know, with my uncle being a jazz player and all the jazz bass player. And then, of course, today we've got Kitt Chapman joining me live in the studio. So on the show tonight, you can hear the entire unedited interview that we had, you know, the In Conversation episode that it is today. So it's unedited, a long chat that we've had. Now, Kitt Chapman, some surprises actually. But she and her husband have worked with George Lucas and the greats in Hollywood. You know, they've had a film restoration company. So and she has a lot of. She's been a radio show host, and she had her own radio show. You know, back when radio was pretty big. So she's done that, and she makes a lot of kids music, you know, children's music, and she makes a lot of singer-songwriter roots sort of music. So the special thing that's coming up today is the first preview of Kitt Chapman's brand new single, which I'll be playing tonight. So tune in to find out what it is. So there we go. So we got Kitt Chapman joining me right in the middle of the show. Now I'm going to read out some of the artists that have made it on the show today. New discoveries. We've never played these acts before. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read out the names of the artists. If you want to find out which songs by these artists we've played. Some of them are brand new singles, not released or just released, you know, things like that. And then if these artists interact with our fans and with WOA and they write in and they're active, they will then get, you know, added airplay and special features and all that kind of stuff that WOA does for artists that we fall in love with, okay? Here are the brand new acts that have made the certified indie songs of the week. So we've got Solonoi, a nice name for an act, Solonoi. And then we've got Denny Kenzie. We have a band called ESMA, E-S-M-A. Then we have an artist called Jason Michael Moore. And last but not least, we've got Michael Carson and Jam Borsi. So I'm not going to talk much about the artists because first we're going to give you guys a chance to listen to their songs. And as I said, we're going to wait to see if these artists are actively involved in their music, because we've had a lot of music submitted in or that we choose because we like the song. We genuinely like songs that we play on the show, right? But they're usually sent in by managers or labels or whatever, and the artist is not involved at all, and they don't really care. So those are not the acts that we want to support. All right, just being perfectly transparent with all the artists. If you want to submit music to us, you got to be involved personally in the songs that you send us, because otherwise we don't really want to support you. We are excited for your song, right? And if you're not excited for your own song, why do we have to be excited? I mean, no one's going to be excited, at least not in our world. And it's a big world across the WOA universe worldwide. So those are the certified indie songs of the week. And I'm hoping some of these acts that we've just played tonight, I might talk about some of them who do become part of WOA, who interact with you guys and everything. And we see that. And they might just be up for nominations for the WOA Music Award for end of this year. And then I'll talk more about those artists the way I talk about our WOA artists. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Okay, don't forget, you can catch the show wherever you get your podcasts, and also public radio via PRX. By the way, our show is distributed for free worldwide to FM radio, public radio, and satellite radio as well, okay, in different parts of the world. So anyway, so that's what we do for independent music. I hope you enjoy it. But if you're listening to the WOAFM99 show on Spotify podcasts or Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio, give it a 5-star rating. Even if you're not a big fan of some of the songs, but if you support independent music, if you give that show, whichever show you're listening to, or our show, a 5-star rating, the music that we're promoting will go to more people. And that's what independent music needs, right? Independent musicians, they need their music going out to as many people as possible, and that's what we're trying to do. So a 5-star rating from you guys on the podcast platforms that you listen to the show on will really help independent music generally. That's what I think. It'll help my show as well, of course, but our show is all about promoting independent music. All right. And last but not least, I'll see you tonight in a couple of hours, actually. Well, not a couple of hours, but in like 5 hours or so. I'll see you on the WOAFM99 Radio Show and podcast. And if you want to catch it on YouTube, you can get it right here on my channel. And that's it. Oliver Sean signing out. Ciao.